for melodic heavy metal. Playing it heavier, louder, raunchier, faster. This is the Signals of Intuition.
That's the title track right there, Scatterbrain, from the brand new KXM album. That band features from Korn, Ray Luzier, from Dawkins and Lynch Mob, George Lynch, and from King's X, dUg Pinnick. You're listening to the Signals of Intuition, your home for melodic hard rock and heavy metal. Tonight on the show, we're going to be talking to the latter musician, dUg Pinnick, so let's get him on the line right now.
Hello.
Hey, Doug, how's it going? It's Brandon.
Hang on for 1 second. Let me get you on speakerphone here.
Yep, no worries. Just let me know when you're all good.
Here we go. Now we're good.
Awesome.
Hello.
Good. Sounds great on my end actually too. That's perfect.
Good.
So when I do these, I'd like to sort of start at the beginning of you as a musician and then work our way up to what you've got going on now.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess let's start sort of from relatively the beginning. Where did you grow up and how did you get started in music?
I grew up in a little town called Braidwood, Illinois. It was about 35 miles south of Chicago, back in the 50s and early 60s. It was a very rural town. I mean, it was literally a country. I mean, there was 1,000 people in my town, and I was the only black kid and 52 kids in my 8th grade class when I graduated.
Oh, wow.
When I was, yeah. And so just to understand that, people always wonder why I don't do a lot of black stuff, and it's just because, even though my family's black and I've been around black people, I've done a lot more stuff with white people, and so it's just, I just gravitated to rock music, and that's the way it happened. But soul music has always been my passion. Gospel music and blues was all around me when I was a kid. My great-grandmother would not allow that kind of music in the house ever because she was a strict Christian, but all my relatives played music. Well, everybody had stereos. They didn't play music, but everybody had their record players, and it was always going because music was really, really new in the 50s and 60s, and record players and 45 records and stuff. So I got to hear a lot of stuff, and I just listened real close. And just fell in love with everything, really. There was nothing that I really didn't like. I mean, Ray Charles and Aretha Franklin and Stevie Wonder and Mahalia Jackson, those are the great singers of the time, and those are the people that we all listen to. So I love them all.
Well, it's funny, like I was talking to Jeff Tate from Queensryche, and he said, especially at that time, there wasn't the way it is today where everything's all genred out, you know what I mean? Like it's like back then it was just kind of a cool song was a cool song, you'd have Motown playing against the Beatles, against, Zeppelin, against whatever, and it was all just kind of a big melting pot of music at that point.
Yeah, it was, because nobody understood it. There was no categories, and it was so new that we were just free to just do whatever you wanted to and figure it out, there was no rules. We have rules now that are just insane, and, I love to see them broken. That's what I'm impressed by, is when a band will break the rules.
Yeah. Now, how then do you get started actually playing music?
Well, I always was singing all my life. From the time, my mother said the time I was born, I was singing, and I was obsessed with the record players. She said I didn't want to do anything but sit and listen to music. And she said when she would turn the stereo record player off, I would start crying. And then I just started singing along with records all the time and singing around the house because I just loved to sing. I don't know why. I just did it all the time. And I guess when I got to grade school, my music teacher and art teacher saw me singing and drawing pictures and stuff, so they kind of took me under their wing. And they put me in the choir, and my music teacher, she'd make me sing. She'd sit down with the piano and have me sing songs and do harmonies with her and stuff. And I was, like 9 years old and stuff. And so I was just always around people that made music, but I never played it. But it was, where I grew up, there was no real musicians. There was nobody but piano players. That was it, school teacher and the person that played piano at church.
Yeah.
And so, I learned music theory, indirectly through her. She taught me chords, and how to do harmonies and stuff, and so I just it was really cool. So I just stayed in that vein all the time. When I got to high school, I stayed in the choir and anything that was musical, I stuck around with. But I was 23 when I started playing bass guitar, and because I always wanted to play guitar from the time I remember hearing bass. I wanted to play bass,
Right. So, wow, that's it's pretty late. I mean, relatively speaking, most people are like, oh, when I was 9, I started whatever. So to start at 23 is, I mean, that's kind of like you're already sort of built a foundation in your life by that point. But you, like you say,
I had not. I'm 10 years behind always. I'm just I've always been slow at waking up to the world, and when I was 25, I was like I was 17. I was living at my mom's house in the bedroom playing my bass that a friend of mine gave me because didn't even get a job to buy one. I didn't even know I could buy one because I lived in the ghetto and we were poor, so I didn't think we could ever get one, and I didn't know how to get one until a friend of mine came by and just loaned me his, and I never gave it back to him.
Oh, that's so funny. And then, so take me through now. So you're in the early 70s, like you say, just starting to, get involved in music. Mm-hmm. How then does it come out of that and you start, like how does King's X sort of come out of that?
Well, my best friend asked me to join a band, and I started singing in a couple bands first before I started playing bass. And then one time, I just got to a place where I wanted to play bass because I had been playing bass for about 6 months, and I wanted to have a band. So me and my cousin started a band, and he played drums. We were pretty terrible, but we found a guitar player. We started screwing around. But from that, I just kept playing with people and, jumping back and forth and starting different bands here and there, jamming with people to the point where I had a couple bands. They didn't do anything, just, didn't even get out of the basement, some of them. But I met Ty and Jerry in 1980, and make a long story short, we became a band, and we've been doing it ever since.
Yeah, from what I know, it was sort of you and Jerry had a band, and then you kept crossing paths with Ty or something like that. And then
well, actually, Jerry played with Ty in a band, and then I played with Jerry in a band. And then finally one day we just said, hey, we've all played with each other. Why don't we make it official? So we did, and that's how it started. We had another guitar player at the time also. And
then eventually I guess he left, and you guys just kind of stuck to the power trio format then, eh?
Yeah, the first 3 or 4 years we always had dual guitar players, and they both would leave. They would always say that they just didn't feel part of what the energy or the vibe that we had. I don't know. They just always felt like they were a part of it. maybe we didn't let them, There's a connection that the three of us have that, maybe he noticed or both guitar players noticed and we didn't see that because we were bummed out that they left.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And then, so tell me, in those early days, especially, like how kind of important was Sam Taylor sort of as a producer and just sort of bringing you guys up into the sound that you guys became known for?
Well, Sam didn't show up till like around 87, and then he started working with us really hard like a football player would work his football team. It was rolling 8 hours a day working on stuff, and it was good. It made us better musicians, but he worked with us, and we wrote a lot of tunes in that time period, and we got a record deal a few years into that, and that was with Megaforce Records. And so Sam produced and managed us, and he did everything. He mixed our music. He was our all-in-all guy for about 5 years, I guess, until the last the album called King's X with no name. That was the last album that Sam produced, and then at that point we needed to split up and move and go our separate ways.
Yeah. And then you guys brought in Brendan O'Brien. What did he sort of bring that kind of differed from Sam as a producer?
Well, Brendan kind of just gave us freedom just to be ourselves and do what we did. He didn't really complain a whole lot about anything. He made a couple suggestions, a couple things he wanted to do that we didn't want him to do, which we should have let him do. But we were just, I think we were jaded by working with Sam because Sam really made us, really dig deep into what we were doing. And with Brendan, it was more of a freedom just to be who we were. So we were kind of afraid to let him give him any control because we finally got it back. So we were in a place in our minds, all three of us. We had been disillusioned, and we looked back at what had happened in our career, and the bad stuff that happened, and the people that weren't cool. And so we were a bit angry because our eyes were open. And so that record just kind of was us spewing out our anger in a positive way.
Right. Yeah, it was a much, much darker album than the earlier stuff, I think, anyways. Yeah.
It was.
And then one of my favorite records you guys did was Ogre Tones. How was that working with Michael Wagner, especially after you guys had done a couple records yourselves, right, without an outside producer?
Yeah. Well, with Michael, it was just fun because he brought us back to getting away from digits. He's a real analog guy. He's an old school guy. He uses tape, and he takes a long time. Nowadays, you can pop up a record in a week, because engineers work so fast. But Michael, he's old school. He'll take a week on the drums like they used to back in the 70s and 80s. And that bothered me, just because I want things done quick. But other than that, it was like he was just so encouraging, and he just pretty much just encouraged us more than anything. I mean, the songs that we brought in, there wasn't a whole lot he felt he needed to do. It's sort of weird. A lot of producers don't seem to challenge us, and maybe that, I don't know why they don't. They're more like they're fans, and they just want to watch us do our thing, and they don't say much. And it's very encouraging. I mean, it makes me feel good, but on the other hand, I know two different producers, the one that let you be yourself and the other that controls you incredibly. And so, that's all I know about producers.
Yeah, exactly, because it's hard to find that balance too between how involved do you get, how hard do you push the musician versus do I just want to capture this as it is now kind of thing. Can I just get the best mic placement for what these guys are going to already do?
Right. I hope that explained it well.
Yeah. Oh no, I get it completely. Yeah. Now to change gears slightly, I'd like to ask you something a little bit more personal. As a fellow gay man, I've always wondered, in '98 you came out publicly, being one of the first metal musicians to do so. What prompted you to do so at that time?
I think it was because I needed to do it for myself, because I was in such a self-hate mode for being gay that I was going to just die within myself or kill myself. So I figured, I'm just going to say it, and those who love me will stay around, and those who don't, well, they're going to go off and do what they do anyway. And I just had just to let it go. I didn't make a big deal about it, and I still don't.
No, I do.
Only because I hate it. You know what I'm saying? I hate it when people try to make a big deal about it, because, it's like, how people say, hey, the gay people are here, well, why don't people walk in and the straight people are here? It's like, who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I've always, if somebody wants to talk to me about it, though, I'm more than willing.
Exactly. Well, it's a part of who you are. If it's all you are, I mean, then it's, to me, you're kind of a boring person, honestly, if that's, from what I've read at that time, you guys had your records taken out of Christian music and bookstores. Is that true?
That's what I was told. It's funny because the song on the record before that was all about losing my faith. And I wasn't even a believer anymore, but they let those records play. But as soon as I said I was gay, they went, oh no. That was a time when the Christian world, well, they haven't changed. There was a second, when Striper came out, Christians decided to allow their kids, and they said it was okay to listen to certain rock music and stuff like that. But I think it's gone back to the old ways, which was when I came out, was either you got to get out there and preach and you got to be perfect, or they blackball you. I mean, that's what happens unless you're really, really famous, like Jimmy Swagger or something. Then you got people, and those kind of people I have no respect for anyway. So, what do you do? But I didn't want to be a part of it, and I knew that would be the kiss of death for me too. And we got out of it. We got out of the whole Christian world that we were kind of trapped in. Yeah,
because I was going to say, because you guys were sort of known as, like, it was kind of a thing where, like, are they a Christian band? Are they not a Christian band? Because you guys, like, you weren't, Striper, where you just flamboyantly, hey, we're Christian, but at the same time, it's like you could kind of tell, there's something about religion in there. I don't know how religious they are or whatnot, but...
that's what we wanted. We just wanted to sing about what we felt and be free to sing about whatever we feel like singing about, and not be under the guise of Christianity, because we knew that as soon as we said anything that wasn't kosher, there'd be this backlash, And so I said, well, might as well get it over with. And all three of us were quite happy that we were ostracized, because then we can go live our life without that pressure of being someone that you're not, and believing that you're going to go to hell because of it. I mean, people still send me messages, come back to Jesus, and I go, I'll never go back to that. That was a prison for me. For other people, that's a great thing, and I have no problem with that,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like we always say, we'll see when we die.
Yeah. This is true. Okay, so to change gears again, tell me about life on the road. What do you do to keep yourself going night after night? Especially, as a singer, the human voice, it's so temperamental. One night it just works. Another night you're like, why is my voice so scratchy, and why can't I hit that note tonight? How do you keep yourself going night after night through a tour?
Well, I really don't. I never did. Every now and then when I would try things that other people did, I either lose interest or my ADD would kick in and I couldn't do it. The half-hour vocal warmings and all that kind of stuff. I never could, ever. I just get up and open my mouth up and sing. But as I got older and as we did a lot, I found out that I could last 3 shows and then I had to have a day off or else I couldn't sing. So I'm 3 days on, and the fourth day is not going to happen. So King's After This shows on weekends, basically, now. And what happens is the first day my voice is clear. Second day, it's where I want it to be. It's like in that place of warmed up. Third day, starting to not be able to do what I want to do. And then the day off. And then, that's how it goes. So you learn to pace yourself also. For me now, I write songs in a lower key. Voice instructor told me one time, said, the reason why you lose your voice is you sing above your range. You have to sing in your talking range and you won't lose your voice. And I've always, being a part of the 70s rock scene, everybody sang high. Robert Plant, Paul Rodgers, all my favorite singers, even Judas Priest, everybody sang high. So everything I did, I thought, well, I got to be up there too. And I had a high voice, but I was always singing at the top of my range. And as a result of it, the abuse did take it, bring it back down. And so, I had to relearn. And so, anybody out there that sings, here's the problem. When you don't use your voice correctly, you can put all the passion that you want into it. You can scream, you can yell, you can twist your voice up and get your gut feeling out. But if you want to keep your voice, take voice lessons and sing correctly. You won't get the emotion, but you'll still get respect for being a great singer. Celine Dion is a great singer. But Aretha Franklin, when she opens her mouth up and yells, I feel it. That's the difference. And it's a choice you have to make. And everybody's different, too.
Well, I think that's part of it, too, is, you take vocal lessons, everyone goes in expecting, you're going to be the next Rob Halford or whatever. And it's like, no. It's like genetics are going to limit what you can do ultimately, one voice is different from another, but that will give you stamina, for one thing, is what voice lessons will do.
Right.
So tell me about your new band, KXM. It's you, Ray Luzier from Korn, and then George Lynch. It's somewhat of an unlikely pairing, at least on paper. How did you guys form?
Unlikely, sir. I never thought of it that way, actually. I've known Ray since the beginning of King's X. He's come to just about every show that we played in his area, wherever he lived at the time. And he's flown to Europe to see us a couple times. He's just been a friend and a fan for a long time now. I met George a couple times, but we never ever just hung out. And a few years ago, we were over at Ray's house. He was having a birthday party for his 1-year-old son. And Ray said, why don't we put a project together and do a demo or do something, And we go, okay. And so George got a studio and got his engineer that does the Lynch Mob stuff. And we went in studio, and 12 days later, we had a record. And then we went home and in our own studios and did the bass tracks, and I did my vocals, and George did his leads at his house and stuff. But we put the record out and we were happy, and it seems like people liked it, so we decided to do number 2.
So, like you say, number 2, you've got the new album Scatterbrain coming out in March.
Yeah.
Was this the same thing where you guys met up for a couple weeks, just bang the thing out and boom, it's coming out kind of thing?
Yeah, we did. This time, we went into a studio and used this really nice neat board, and we tracked all the drums there and wrote all the songs. We did it in about 4 or 5 days, I think. It didn't take us long to write all the music. Then we took the stuff home and I came up with melodies and lyrics, and George did his stuff. And we built the record up again like we did the last one.
Yeah. So did you guys tour on the last one, or are there plans to tour for the new one?
No, we can't. No, they have to be recording like almost all the time.
Yeah, so I'd imagine with you guys, being busy with your respective bands, it's like that's got to make it pretty tough to get things going.
Yeah.
So besides the new KXM album, what does the future hold for yourself? Like, one of the things I want to know, do you think we'll hear new King's X music? Because I know Jerry's had some health problems, right?
Yeah. Well, Jerry's doing great. In fact, he's doing better than ever since he had the heart attack. And, they say when you have a heart attack, you come back stronger than ever because your heart it's built itself up even better. And we've been doing shows like 3 or 4 months and getting more coming lately, and going to Europe a couple months to do some festivals over there. But we're getting ready to work on a new record. We don't have any information about it yet because we're still talking to labels and producers. So but that's in the works. We're actually discussing it. I got a Hendrix tribute record coming out after KXM that I did. I'm real excited about it. We just built up Hendrix songs from ground zero to what they became, and we just tried to mimic everything and use all the same instruments and pedals. And it was a lot of fun. So, and I sing a lot like him, so I can imitate him. So it's going to be a fun record to listen to. I hope people really like it.
So now, is that a King's X Hendrix thing, or is that you with a bunch of different musicians, or what?
Yeah, that's me with Tracy Singleton and Tommy Baldwin and Mike Hansen. I took them in the studio and said, hey, let's just make this Hendrix tribute record. And so it's going to be called Doug Pinnick Hendrix tribute record, or well, it's going to be often imitated but never duplicated. That's what I'm going to name it.
I love it. No, that's for Hendrix. That's perfect, because that's exactly true. Just had those magic hands that you can try as hard as you want. You can get damn close to Hendrix. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's my disclaimer, just to like the record and have fun with it.
Exactly. Well, Doug, I know you got to run. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out to do this interview, and you coming out and just kind of doing what you did really helped me as a teenager, and I latched onto your guys' music, so I respect you all the more for that.
I want to meet you. Where you live?
I'm in Canada, but just next to Detroit. Like I look right across the river, and there's Detroit.
Awesome. Well, let's stay in touch, okay? Do that. Promise.
Absolutely. That's so cool. All right, Doug. I know you got to run, so I won't keep you. But again, thanks so much. Thanks for the interview and the music and everything over the years. And I'll let you go. So thanks so much, man. Really appreciate it.
Have a good one. Look forward to hearing from you again, Bob.
Thanks so much. All right. I'll see you, Doug.
Bye-bye.